Perfect weather for a flight out of Nice, Côte d'Azur, don't you think? We're on runway 22 left, and we're cleared for takeoff. Taking off in an A320 obviously requires more speed and a longer runway than a single-engine prop plane. But luckily, we have some extra tools at our disposal to make the job a little easier once we're airborne. For starters, the autothrust manages engine power to maintain a target airspeed. Autopilot will keep us on track with navigation, and the fly-by-wire system lets us maintain a consistent attitude without needing to make constant adjustments. When I give the word, you're going to execute a straight-out takeoff. After you complete the initial climb, I'll take the controls. The rotation speed, VR, is 131 knots. I'll call out when we reach it. Then, once we hit VR, you just need to begin a gentle rotation by pulling back on the side stick. Don't exceed 10 degrees until you've lifted off. We need to be aware of 3 different detents. CL, the thrust setting we will be in for most of the flight. TOGA, to take off at full power on short runways or when performing a go-around. And for today, FLX MCT for a reduced thrust takeoff. We reduce thrust at takeoff to preserve our engine life and save fuel. As you can see on the engine warning and system display, I applied the parking brakes earlier. Whenever you're ready to take off, go ahead and remove them. Okay, we're ready to go. Apply half-forward side stick. Then move both thrust levers gently forward to 50% N1. Then move them to the flex detent. Okay, now the auto thrust is armed. Use the rudder to keep us on the center line. Positive climb, gear up. Engage autopilot. Autopilot can either be engaged 5 seconds or 100 feet after takeoff to manage heading and altitude. The FMA is showing lever climb, which means we've reached thrust reduction altitude. Adjust the thrust levers to climb detent. Now we're in the climb detent. Auto thrust is active and will manage airspeed by adjusting the power. At S speed, retract flaps to 0. Disarm ground spoilers. I have the controls. Nice work. That was a smooth takeoff. We're on course for a visual landing approach into Nice, Côte d'Azur. Auto thrust is going to handle power management, so our main objective is to control the pitch to stay on the glide slope. The beauty of fly-by-wire means you only need to use the stick when you want to make attitude adjustments. Anytime you return the stick to the center point, the aircraft will keep to to the current attitude. Alright, as long as the auto thrust is on, the speed will be automatically managed. Throttle should stay on the climb detent. Just focus on the trajectory to begin. Remember, fly-by-wire doesn't need a lot of corrective input. Just keep making small adjustments to pitch and roll as necessary. See the screw on the dash above the PFD? Use that as a guideline to keep us centered on the runway. Look to the right of the runway at the 4 colored lights called PAPI. They'll give feedback to stay within a 3-degree glide slope all the way down. We're a little too far out to read the colors yet, but when we're closer, the 4 lights will tell us how we're doing. If the PAPI shows 2 white lights and 2 reds, then we're on target. 4 white lights means we're too high. 4 red means we're too low. At 20 feet, pull back on the stick to kiss the runway, but be careful to avoid a tail strike.
$1,000. $500.
We're getting close to the threshold. Now shift your focus down to the end of the runway. Listen for the computer calling out retard, then set thrust to idle.
100. 60. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Time to flare.
Retard. Right.
Now return the side stick to neutral. Spoilers and auto brakes are activated. Right on the center line, but pretty rough on the landing.